All right. All right, Israel. So, hey, Most High in Christ bless everybody.
Most High God bless you too.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath to you too.
Okay. All praises to the Most High Israel for giving us the spirit to come here, fellowship, keep His commandments, right? Learn what His will is. So, all praises to the Most High for that. So, those of you that are out there that are logging in, I'd like to ask you to take a moment to share the class. Excuse me. Share the class. Tag your friends, family, loved ones in it. Anybody that, not anybody, but everyone, because we all should be hearing thus says the Lord. Okay. We should be hearing the scriptures, the word of the Most High. Now, the name of today's lesson is The Spirit is in you. Are you listening to it? it's such a true statement. The Spirit of the Most High is inside of us. Are you listening to it? Or are you drowning it out? And if so, why? It's the Most High Himself that put it inside of us. So let's go to the point to where the Most High He put it in us. With me, go to the book of Exodus. Chapter 24. Exodus chapter 24. And he said unto Moses, Come up unto the Lord, thou, and Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come nigh unto the Lord, or to the Lord, nigh the Lord, but they shall not come nigh. So Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come nigh. So even though that these guys were chosen vessels, there was still a place where a set off the Most High was instructing them to be. But they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. So Moses alone was to come up. He was going to deal with the Lord, which is the head of this nation. That's Christ, Yahushua. That's who we dealing with. Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, All the words which the Lord have said, we will do. See, because what were they about? They was following instructions. They agreed to follow the instructions. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord and rose up early in the morning and builded an altar under the hill and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. So now he's reading the agreements to the people. And they said, All that the Lord have said will we do, and be obedient. So Israel was agreeing to it. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, Behold, the blood of the covenant. So Israel, we entered into a blood covenant. Our forefathers entered into a blood covenant So it's blood in, blood out. If you break it, blood must be shed. Okay? Which the Lord have made with you concerning all these words. Then went Moses and Aaron, Ahihud and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. So while I keep mentioning using the scriptures, Nadab and Abihu, those guys later turned stubborn-hearted and rebellious. Brothers, in your ministry, you must always be, like the scripture said, obedient, humble. You can't turn stubborn, rebellious. If it's not your way, then it's the highway, or it's no way at all. You'll get released from the situation that the Most High called you. And the Lord didn't call you in to be him or someone else. He called you and gave you a job description on how you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do. We're not to feel like that. Here, by Nadab and Abihu, Aaron's sons, you would think that these guys are numbered and they named with Aaron, they named with Moses, they got responsibility, they did. But they also gave place to Satan too. And then later on, these guys, they got killed. The Most High killed them. Don't be the next Abihu, the next Aaron, somebody that start off in the spirit, but then you end in the grave. You end in your flesh. You'll be in your flesh before you hit the grave, and you won't even notice it. You just blame somebody else and think somebody else is at fault. That's why this class is here. Classes like this and many other classes through the spirit of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's God Yahweh in the name of Hashem Hamashiach, meaning the Messiah, Yahweh Shai. That's whom the world calls Jesus Christ. So all this coming from on high, from the Most High through His Christ, without partial, without hypocrisy, without favoritism, without emotions, without affection, without anything. We're the ones that's bringing in feelings, thoughts, emotions, passions. We're the ones that's making mistakes. As another follower of Christ, whether you are male or female, we are not to be like that. Because then we're going to walk that same plank that our foreparents before us have walked. And that plank led to them being destroyed. We're not to take that chance. We're not to be like that. So in the book of Exodus, chapter 24 and 10, and they saw the God of Israel, that there was under his feet as it were a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in its clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel, he laid not his hand. Also they saw God and did eat and drink. And the Lord said unto Moses, come up to me unto the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone, and a law, and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. So Moses was commanded to the Lord to draw nigh unto him, and all of these things he would give them to him, and then he would teach them. And Moses' spirit and the inside, his spirit would be enriched, enhanced, and grown immediately by the Most High Yahweh Shai. That's an amazing job. This brother didn't ask for that. He didn't say, when I grow up, I want to be a leader of the world. I want to lead when I grow. He didn't do anything but walk and live. As a matter of fact, he called himself being a black man, so-called black, a defender, and destroyed an Egyptian in doing so, which is against one of the commandments of the Most High. So you could tell coming up, he didn't know what he was doing. So the job that we have, we didn't choose to have that job. The Lord chose us to have that job. So if the Most High chose you to have a job and you're in a situation to where you are instrumental in doing certain things, using the scriptures for the Most High, then just accept the job because it comes with benefits and perks. Sometimes it feels hard to get those benefits and perks, but they there. All right. So let's continue on. So we're in the book of Exodus, chapter 24. And now we're gonna go verse 13. So shalom to everybody that just jumped in. Please like and share the video. Support the General Assembly by sending stars. I'm just new to that. Sending alms and free will offerings to help us further some of the things that we do in the truth. If you look on the cover of my personal page, you will see the Assembly's updated cash out. All alms and offerings go towards the General Assembly and never to any personal individual, such as myself or any other brother that teaches. As a matter of fact, we've been supporting the General Assembly out of our own pockets on our own dime. So anything that you brothers and sisters out there to do to help support, to make this thing a broader message, would greatly be appreciated. All right, so now verse 13. So this is Exodus chapter 24, 13. Moses rose up and his minister Joshua. And Moses went up into the mount of God, and he said unto the elders, tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. So look at that order so far. It was Moses, Joshua, Aaron, Hur, and everybody up under them. If they had any questions, they would ask these two guys that were left down below. And you know what Aaron and Hur would do? Refer them back into what Moses said. Give them a reminder, because somewhere in their mind, they might come up and say, well, should we do this? Should we go back into general population? Or should we go up into the mountain to see what happened to them? What should they do? They should stay right there. They shouldn't move forward. They shouldn't go backwards. They should stay right there, regardless of what happens. If it got exceedingly hot, they should stay there. If it stormed and it blizzard or it tornadoed or whatever, they should stay right there, because that's what Moses said. Tarry ye here for us until we come again unto you. That's exactly what they should do. You see, now in their minds, of course, they would want to do something different. They may want to do something different. And this is what those two brothers that was assigned to keep those people, those elders and whomever else, to keep them in the way were commanded and told to do. And when Moses come back down, then he would have a council with them to help deal with the population of Israel. But if the guys dispersed and went their way and did their own thing, he would come back to be like, what is this? What's going on? What? Now his spirit is entangled with that. Instead of coming back, finding those guys faithful in the spirit of obedience, to where they discipline themselves to serve the Lord. Not, thinking that, it's man pleasing Moses if we stay here and we wanted to do something different. I had something to do. We're not to be like that. We're to simplify it, and be obedient. Whatever wars and issues that you have pertaining to with the obedience, that's the thing that you got to fight. But if you just accept that this is the agreement that I agreed with the Lord, then that process would be easy. But let's continue. Moses went up into the mount And the cloud covered the mount, and the glory of the Lord abode upon Mount Sinai. And the cloud covered it 6 days. And the seventh day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud. So that seventh day should be what? Sabbath day, right? Okay. Now, and the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. So the Israelites are down beneath, looking up at the top of the mount, and they see a fire that looks like nothing can live in that thing. It's burning up whatever it is, but the Lord is in the fire. The Lord is in the fire. Oh man, that's amazing. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud and got him up into the mount. So it was so high. You know how a cloud is? Now Moses is up there in the cloud. That's how high he was. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. So he was gone. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, so now this is Exodus chapter 25. And now going into verse 2. Those of you that are just joined online, all praises. Thank you for joining us to the General Assembly of Israel, to our Sabbath service. Please share the class. Speak unto the children of Israel that they bring me an offering. Of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart, you shall take an offering. So when Israel, when you offer, that's something you should want to do willingly. Nobody should make you or twist you or tell you over and over. Like what I do. Shouldn't have to do that. You should do it willingly. And this is the offering ye shall take of them. What? Gold, silver, brass. We don't have gold, silver, and brass. And the little gold that we do have, we bundled and saved and saved and saved to garnish ourselves with it. And that's fine. Blue, purple, and scarlet, fine linen, goat's hair, ram's skins dyed red, badger's skins, shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and sweet incense. What you think is happening? Why is the Lord asking them to do that? We'll see. Onyx stones and stones to be set in an ephod and in the breastplate. What's all that for? Most High, you know how he built a man out of dust and dirt? The Most High is going to dress and drape a man so that he looks astonishing. That man is going to be Aaron, the priest. And so when he come in, he would be admired. When Aaron came in, the Most High had him put bells on his garment. So when he came in, he would chime. Ching, ching, ching. When he walked, it was amazing. He was beautiful. Most High had him decked out because they wanted Israel to have honor for the prince in earth that was bringing out the commandments of the Most High. You got to stop that. Take it all out at one time. To have honor for the man that's teaching them and not look at him with resentment, but to esteem him extremely well and extremely high and hold him in admiration. You can do that without idolatry. It's not that. And let them make me a sanctuary. So those things were for the sanctuary. that I might dwell among them. So in other words, the Spirit will be present with us. Remember, what is this class about? This class is about the Spirit of the Most High in our minds and in us. And I'm showing you how it got there. And I'm taking you to the beginning on where it all began. So we can understand and we can believe it because we believe it in the scriptures. Now, listen to verse 9. According to all that I shew thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. So pattern, another word for pattern is blueprint. You don't make any adjustments. The diagram, the blueprint, the pattern, it has to be on point, just like that. We got to learn. We got to continue to remember that when we have a pattern or we're instructed to do something a certain way, that's the way we ought to do it and not alter the plan. Verse 10. Let's see. This is more work for inside the tabernacle. I'm going to fast forward. So the rest of this is more work. Him giving, he's given description. So let's jump over to verse 21. 21. Thou shalt put the mercy seat above the ark, and in the ark thou shalt put the testimony. So the ark was a box, let's just call it a box, and it had a seat on it. But inside of that box was the testimony of the Lord. Those were like what you would call the scriptures, things that Moses had wrote. You know, he took notes, everything, brothers, that you doing, sisters, that y'all doing, the writings, you taking notes so you can understand. These were the things that Moses did while being in the presence of the Lord, and they were put inside of the ark. Okay. In the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. See, the stuff that I give you, put in that ark. And there I will meet with thee. So now, while being inside of the sanctuary that they're going to build, the Lord is telling Moses, I will meet with you right there, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat. So if you ever want to be in touch with me, shoot me a text, call me on the phone, knock on my door. This is the location. Come here. Because Moses might be somewhere and be thinking like, man, even though the Lord is everywhere, he's given him a specific place to say, hey, I want you to feel my presence right here. Why above the mercy seat? Because the mercy seat is on top of the ark, and inside of the ark is the things that the Lord told him. So he's going to feel the presence, even though the presence of God fills the earth. The Most High fills the earth. But he wants him to just be able to process this right here in this space at that time. So Moses were to think about that, and he was to remember that. All right. Now, I'm in verse 22, from between the two cherubims. So the cherubims are like two figures, two beast-like things, which are above the ark of the covenant, of all things which I will give thee in the commandment unto the children of Israel. So of all things which I will give thee in the commandment unto the children of Israel. So he would give him all things to command the children of Israel. So let's skip the rest of that. Let's see. So the rest of 26 is more making of the tabernacle, the veil, burnt offering things. Jump over to 27 and 21. In the tabernacle of the congregation, without the veil, meaning outside of the veil, you know, the veil is like, it's like a covering or a curtain. It's called a veil. It was something that was meant to obscure something else. So outside of obscurity, which is before the testimony, Aaron and his son shall order it from even to morning before the Lord. It shall be a statute forever unto their generation on the behalf of Israel, of the children of Israel, on the behalf of the children of Israel. So the workings and everything that pertains to out there, it was for Aaron and his sons. But everything behind the veil would be appointed to whomever the Most High appointed to be high priest or the chief. Every and anybody couldn't just go behind the veil. Their job was on one side of the veil. Chapter 28, verse 1. And thou shalt take unto thee Aaron thy brother and his sons with him from among the children of Israel. So the children of Israel will consist of all the other tribes: Judah, Benjamin, Simeon, Zebulun, Reuben, Naphtali, Gad, Manasseh, Ephraim, Issachar, and Asher. Not Levi. So we take the Levites that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. So the priest's office is the responsibility of teaching the people of the Most High. Even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. So these are the names of Aaron's sons: Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, Ithamar. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty. I told you, he was beautiful. Most High made him beautiful. He was glorified. It was astonishing, the work of the garments and the clothes that they made for him to come and minister into. Thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments. So the Most High is a spirit associated with the making of garments, with the doing of that work. They are wise-hearted to do it. They want to do it. They don't mind doing it. It's a righteous, you would rather have righteous people doing it. Unfortunately, we have no control over who does our, mass production of our clothes. You go to the store and get a pack of socks. Go to the store and get a pack of shirts. Go to the store and get, that's one thing. But the making of these garments, they were filled with the Spirit. Verse 4, and these are the garments which they shall make: the breastplate and the ephod, a robe and broaded coat, a mitre and a girdle, And they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And they shall take gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and fine linen. See, they shall make the ephod of gold and of blue, purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen with cunning work. Linen is a light material. It's not very heavy. It's not very thick. Okay. So he was real comfortable in that linen suit. It shall have the two shoulder pieces thereof joined at the two edges thereof, and so it shall be joined together. So now just imagine Moses have to remember all of this. And he's got to convey this unto the makers. So when someone else come with other questions with Moses or problems that they would have, you think what is he to do? He to respectfully ask somebody else to help them with their issues and help them with their problems. He's got issues like this. He's dealing directly with the Lord. He's got issues like this that he got to deal with. All right. So this is more about his clothing and things like that. Let's fast forward. Hmm. '31. Exodus 31. Now let's read this in the 30th chapter. Exodus chapter 30 and 22. Moreover, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take thou also unto thee principal spices of pure myrrh, 500 shekels of sweet cinnamon, half so much, even 250 shekels of sweet calamus, 250 shekels, and of cassia, 500 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, and of oil olive a hin. And thou shalt make it an oil of holy ointment. An ointment compound after the art of the apothecary. It shall be a whole and holy anointing. So it was like a perfume, but it was a holy anointing oil that the priest would use. And thou shalt anoint the tabernacle of the sanctuary therewith, and the ark of the covenant. Wait a second. Let's read that part again. And thou shalt anoint the tabernacle of the congregation therewith, and the ark of the testimony. So what was being anointed? Okay. What was being anointed? Who else said something? Jeremiah, what was being anointed?
I was saying Aaron.
Okay, let me read this one last time. And thou shalt anoint the tabernacle of the congregation therewith, and the ark of the testimony. What was being anointed?
Congregation and the ark.
No, the room itself, the tabernacle and the ark was being anointed. Nothing to do with the people. He didn't say that. The Most High wanted the place to be anointed, the place to have the aroma, the smell of it. You ever go into a place and it smells good? Okay. Yes, sir.
So, and is it safe to say that at that time, that they tabernacles, they had like a big old tent that they kept moving?
Okay, right. Verse 27, and the table and all his vessels. So you would anoint the table and the candlestick and his vessels and the altar of incense and the altar of burnt offerings with all his vessels and the lever and his foot. So all of that stuff would have that stuff all over it. Today, things are made in a spray bottle. And you go spray, 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 spray. You call it air freshener. And thou shalt sanctify them that they may be most holy. Whosoever toucheth them shall be holy. These are the items. These are not people. And thou shalt anoint Aaron and his sons and consecrate them, meaning now it's going into people and separate them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. So what is the Lord doing? He's putting all of these things inside of the mind of the priest first. And the priesthood would then teach this unto one another, sharpening one another, and then it would trickle down unto the Israelites. They would know. Thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. See? Saying, this is the holy anointing oil unto me throughout your generations. So this is how this got into us. It was taught us. So is it supposed to smell like skunk? Dirt? Dust? Stink? Muss? No. That's not royal right there. That's not holy right there. Upon man's flesh shall it not be poured. Neither shall you make, listen to this, neither shall you make any other like it after the composition of it. It is holy, and it shall be holy unto you. What does that mean?
Don't change the ingredients.
Okay. Somebody else. A novel. What does that mean?
You talking about the part where it say after the composition of it?
Okay. Somebody else. Corey.
Like it's gonna be like different than anything else that they ever had.
Okay, let me read it again and explain, okay? It says, upon man's flesh shall it not be poured. Okay, so people come in and they like the smell of it, and they say that's fire. My God, what is that? Like we do with one another. We smell each other's oils and colognes and stuff, and we want to know what it is. And next thing you know, the person got it. They go get it because they like it that much. You couldn't do that like this because it's going to be the bomb. Then it says, neither shall ye make any other like it. So it already told you what it's compelled of, right? Comprised of, right? Don't go and try and get it and mix it and put it together and make it yourself after the composition of it. It is holy, meaning it is to be considered sacred and set apart from what you doing. Why were we not to do it? Let me give you my thought process, feeling that I have the Spirit of the Lord. Let me see. Oh, if that smell is only the smell that you smell in the sanctuary and all over the instruments and all over the things that are inside of the sanctuary, that tabernacle, and you know that it's holy, if that smell is on someone else, yes, it's going to remind you of the tabernacle, but that someone else being, an Israelite, what would that make you think of that person? Right? That they are a replica of the tabernacle. When the fact is, they representing themselves. So their actions have got to represent them. That smell is not to be replicated or duplicated. It's unique, one of a kind. And it's only meant, if you want to smell it, then you have to go there. And going there, that means you going there because you seeking help. You seeking mercy. That's the mercy seat. Forgiveness. So you're not to take that. They were not to take that fragrance and deceive others that they are something or somebody that they not. Because the Israelites, they got away from, and we'll understand when, we get into different parts of the scriptures that tell you that the Israelites, they went off. But if you smell that smell, oh, beloved. It's not, because now you're relating it into that holiest of holy, that place that was anointed with that smell. So the Lord said, no, don't do it. Okay, so verse 33, whosoever compounded it, any like it, or whosoever put it, any of it upon a stranger, shall even be cut off from his people. So trying to duplicate it, made you cut off. And the Lord said unto Moses, take unto thee sweet spices of stati and onycha and galbanum. These sweet spices were pure frankincense. Of each shall there be a like weight. Thou shalt make it a perfume, a confection after the art of the apothecary, tempered together, pure and holy. And thou shalt beat some of it very small, and put it before the tabernacle of the sanctuary of the tabernacle, testimony of the tabernacle of the congregation, where I will meet with thee. It shall be most holy unto thee. And as for the perfume which ye shall not make to yourselves according to composition thereof. It shall be unto thee holy for the Lord. Whosoever shall make like unto that to smell thereof shall be even cut off from his people. Chapter 31 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, See, I have called by name Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. And I have filled him with the Spirit of God, in wisdom, and in understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship. Another example was his name? Bezaleel, where he got the wisdom from. He got it from the Most High. He got wisdom, he got understanding. He's got knowledge and everything that he was doing. Verse 4, to devise cunning works, to work in gold. Because a lot of things that the Most High wanted to be shaped and fashioned, like with the sanctuary, with the inside of the tabernacle, as far as the clothing and stuff like that, that would need to be reshaped and refashioned. And in order for that to happen, how many people in here knows how to melt down gold and make a button? Raise your hand. Right. How many of us know how to make melt down gold or silver and make a footing to something, a footing to a lamp, or a footing to a chair? You see? So the Most High put that in him. It says to devise cunning work. Let's look up the definition of cunning. Cunning. Having or showing skill in achieving one's end by, here it says deceit or evasion. But it wasn't that type of cunning. Similar words meaning crafty, artful, knowing. So it was clever, skillful, sharp, meaning his ideal of doing it was above the ideal of another person. You ever seen somebody craft something, put something in pieces together, and you're like, when you seeing them doing it, you're like, okay, I could do that, but your mind didn't think to put those things together so it could work out like that. Well, the Most High gave him the cunning ability to achieve the works that he was looking for. To devise cunning works, to work in gold, silver, and brass, and in cutting of stones, to set them, and in carving of timber, to work in all manner of workmanship. So now we move that over to us. When it comes to things that you need to do, the Most High fills your spirit with that wisdom. Now we know wisdom is experience. So for Bezaleel, he would have to start from ground one and working with these things to where he would be working in gold and silver and cutting stones and trying to set him into something. And when we were out doing one thing, he was there messing with that, getting things wrong until he got it right. And that's how we are. We get things wrong until we get them right. And the Most High fills us with understanding on how to get things right, even though we once got things wrong. And now we have the knowledge, we have the remembrance, we have the experience of those things. And now we know how to do it in all manner of workmanship, meaning whatever it is we went through, we know how to do this now, this, that, and the third. All right. So it's the Lord that put these things inside of us. That's where I'm alluding to. So let's skip the rest of this and go down to but verse 12. The Lord spake unto Moses again, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily, my Sabbaths ye shall keep, but it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the Lord that doeth sanctify you. So the Lord had to teach them about the Sabbath. A lot of Israelites didn't know about the Sabbath. What do you do on the Sabbath day? You stop. You cease. Your work ends, and now things pertaining unto the Lord comes into play. Go to Acts chapter 17. Acts chapter 17 and verse 2. And Paul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and 3 Sabbath days reasoned with them out of the scriptures, opening and alleging that Christ must needs have suffered. Go to the 18th chapter. So in the 17th chapter, he was at Thessalonica. In the 18th chapter, now he's in Athens, dealing with the Corinthians. So chapter 18, verse 1, after these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth and found a Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them. So he came unto them. Paul came to Aquila and Priscilla. This is a couple. And because he was of the same craft, he abode with them, pay attention, and wrought. So he stayed with them. Why did he stay with them, Corin?
Feed them.
Let me read this part again. Acts chapter 18 and verse 3. So verses 2 tell us that he came to Corinth and that he met this Israelite named Aquila who had a wife, Priscilla. Verse 3, because he was of the same craft, he abode with him in Roth. G, why was he with them? Judah, why was he with them?
They have the same crap.
Because they had the same craft? Okay. One more person. That's correct, but one more person. Make it make sense. Why was he with them, Nanava?
To work.
To work. That's right. You need money, you had to work. He saw an opportunity. They were tent makers. He said, wow, okay, I can hook up with y'all in my work. For by their occupation, they were tent makers. Verse 4 is our point. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath. So the synagogue of Israelites, that was, where were they at in that place? Jabril?
In the synagogue
Where's the synagogue? What city?
in Corinth.
Corinth, right. Mark 6. In verse 1. And he went out from thence and came into his own country. This is the Christ. What is his country? Jeremiah. Okay, we'll pay. Shaw, you're sure you have to sit up, brother. Wake him up, somebody. Sit. Please sit up. Yeah. What's his country? Okay, Jerusalem. So he went out from thence and he came into Jerusalem. And his disciples followed him. And when the Sabbath day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue. And many hearing him were astonished, saying, from whence have this man these things? And what wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands? I'm alluding to something. I know you many of you probably already know these things. Hebrews chapter 4. Hebrews chapter 4 and 10. I'm going to start at 9. It says, there remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. A lot of you stumble over this. And you say, oh, I was at home resting. But he that entered into his rest, he also have ceased from his own works. So that's the rest. It's your own personal work that you must stop from. Even as God did from his, Let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest. Meaning the rest from all your personal works. Not if you want to rest your flesh and you want to kick back and you want to just say, oh, that's all right. I mean, who can contend with that? I understand that we need a break. But the wisest man in the scriptures, he wasn't found on the Sabbath day laying up at the house. He was in the scriptures teaching people, and they were astonished. And then a mean fellow whom he turned was found every Sabbath reasoning in the Israelite synagogues and assemblies. So maybe we ought to find a different day to put our feet up, to catch our breath, and rest our flesh than the Sabbath day when we should be there supporting and setting an example. So when you go back to the book of Exodus chapter 31 and verse 13. Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep. So the way that we keep the Sabbath, or the way that the Most High, let's just not say, well, we keep the Sabbath. The way that the Most High wants Israel to keep the Sabbath would be resting from our work and coming into his ideal of how the Sabbath is. So it goes on to say, verily my Sabbath ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the Lord that doeth sanctify you, meaning separate you from other people and from other things. It's a sign. So brothers and sisters should be found in the synagogues and in the sanctuaries, pouring your spirit out upon Sabbath days. Ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. So you're supposed to, the way that you see it, you're supposed to doing this thing is something holy. When our mind is set to it, you know what I thought about over the week that just passed? How many of us experienced, whether you did it or not, but you've heard about it, teacher for a day? Did y'all grow up, you were in high school, and you heard about that teacher for a day, where it was maybe a mock situation where you were the teacher for that day, and and the teacher as the student let the student come up and go through different things and stuff like that to see, so that they can see it from the perspective of the teacher and they can have some experience on what it's like. So the bridle of control like that. Well, if you actually did it, you saw that the classroom was a lot harder to control than they thought. But it really takes a certain type of spirit to bridle, means to handle and control the situation to where you can organize and say, okay, you can even get them calm. Let's just think about a high school classroom. You can get them calm, you can collect them, you can gather them, and then you got them listening to you to where, okay, you marking on the board and you giving answers and you this and then that, and that's all you hear is chalkboard, right? Right. I want how, brothers, because that's where you have to go. That's where you have to head. This is not meant for somebody to, be a professional student. It's meant for you to evolve. It's meant for you to go. Now, when you read Luke, the 2nd chapter, the Christ, he sent Israel everywhere he himself would go. So they went out into the world. They were in the fullness of the Christ. They did what he would do. They said what he would say. So in all actuality, they still performed his works. And he wasn't physically there. They still did it. It's the same when you're out there in the highways and the byways. I think I had a dream last night that one of you guys converted a whole church. I don't know who it was. You were standing on the outside. I was there. And you were standing on the outside, and you didn't think that the people would listen. But it took one lady to give you some full attention, and then everybody started paying attention to what you were saying. And then you try to look for me to be your confidant and for me to do it and to be the spokesperson. But I saw it. What you didn't understand is that, no, you did it all on your own. You had it. They listened. They was listening to what you were saying. They was drawing off of what you were saying and what you was, but you was trying to get me to talk to them. I'm like, well, you don't need me. They listening to you. And I think that Apocrypha was involved. And that first the lady tried to scoff, but then I showed, I said, no, it's right here in my book, right here. Look at these books here. You didn't notice. They didn't tell us. And when I showed her that, all the walls collapsed. Meaning any backbiting or any defense that she would have had, it was over. The Lord spoke. And everybody, when they saw this one woman giving heed, you had got the attention of the one kink in the armor. So the Sabbath that's an opportunity that you give unto the Most High. That's not the opportunity you take for yourself. A lot of people getting it wrong and don't know it. But that's why we're here to learn. You got to choose another day for yourself, for you. Oh, this is me. Yeah, choose that day. You know, like they give you a day off for work.
Yeah.
I give you an example. Like, let's say we use James right here. You know, I know he got, some different hours and days and stuff. Your day off starts, so what's your first day, that day off?
First day off Thursday.
Say, for instance, if he say Thursday, and then you go, you call him on Thursday, and he send you a picture with his feet up. He's got the lazy boy, he got the feet in the air, bam. That's his day. Because come Sabbath, now he's supposed to be at the synagogue, reasoning, being supportive, this, that, and the third. He might need help. He's not working on nothing else. He's devoted unto the Most High. He's released himself from, everything on that Thursday. You say, this is, this is the time I've elected to do this. But then come Sabbath, I know now I'm completely, I got some spiritual responsibilities to do. And that's why when you read in the scriptures, the prophets of the Most High, they always tended. All right. Now, believe it or not, let's go to this pertaining to the situation. Go to the book of Hebrews. Not Hebrews, it's 2 Corinthians 11. The book of 2 Corinthians 11. Second Corinthians 11 and verse 23. It says, are they ministers of Christ? I speak as a fool, of course. I am more. So Paul felt that he was more a minister of Christ than most men. Why did he say I speak as a fool? Because if he said that, while saying that, people would be like, you talk out the side of your neck. It would be contentions, like are you arrogantly? Are you arrogant? But proof was in the pudding. Taste the food. It's not the food better. Look at the quality. It's different. And labors more abundant. The stuff he did was massive. Look at all the churches that he went to, all the places he visited, all the work that he did. So you brothers, and let me involve you sisters too in your works. Abundant. Complaining and crying to me is a sign of weakness and not spirited or not leveled experience. Spirited, leveled, spirited. I don't want to take the spirit away. I can't. You take away this more and abundant, because without a doubt, I know I'm a minister of Christ in abundance. I know in labors more. The work is in the, and I'm not, forgive me if it sounds boastful, because that's not the thing. But don't you know yourself? I know myself. So should I excuse myself or ask to be forgiven for trying to push you, for trying to encourage you, to provoke you to love this thing to where you won't pour yourself out to be over and a cut above the rest? Do I need to be sorry for that? Apologetic? When that's wrote in the scriptures, that men that loved and served God continually day and night, lamp never went out. And they had to find their own time to put their feet up. But when it was time to go and serve the Lord, that they were able mentally, spiritually, physically, and they were ready. And their spirit was sound and super zealous. I'm not sorry for myself. And I do get tired. And you will see it before I complain about it or before I lack the ability to do the service that I know that needs to be done. And some of you might see me getting tired. Oh, he's tired. Oh, Elder, you okay? Or you a little worn, man. You need to get some rest, or you need to take a sabbatical, or you need to do this. Yeah, but there's work that needs to be done too. So the objective is to encourage you to do more. The objective is to encourage you to labor in abundance, to where your labor and your ministry is above others that you can physically see. Not in competition, but because of the necessity. Do you not really realize that the spirit that's in us need to be poured out all over this world, this globe? And not out of boasting, bragging, and being disrespectful, that there are a lot of people that they shouldn't even be speaking using the scriptures. Somebody who shared the video about the camp that's out and the little boy was crossing the street and they was bad mouthing the child. Yeah, they called him a monster. Said that he was they called the child a monster. And he's and talking about the government. Yeah, you want to give them EBT and food stamp cards. And what else did they say in that video out?
There was quite a few kids that was crossing the street.
Speak loud.
There was quite a few kids that was crossing the street. It was like probably 3 or 4.
What did the men say? I'm not saying who they are. I'm saying, what did they say? You got the congregation listening, so say it loud so that they can hear it.
I can't remember everything.
All right, G, what did you say? You shared the video. You remember?
He basically saying like,
y'all let these little monsters around the neighborhood, these your local gang bangers and stuff. And he was going.
Little boy must have been 8 years old.
Yeah, he was talking crazy.
Yeah, little boy must have been 8 years old. And the guys were out there saying, yeah, you let these little monsters run the neighborhood. These your future gang bangers. They're going to end up in prison,
Yeah.
on EBT, this, that, and the third. And this organization is a powerhouse. Yeah. So it's horrifying. Everybody that's in this truth today has been in sin and done sin to where the Most High could have destroyed you and put you to death. It ain't a person alive that your sin is not worthy of death. The Most High could have put you to death. Who did he put to death for lying? Now, everybody in the world lied. Who did he put to death for lying? That's right. Put him to death for lying. And we think lying, some of our lies is clean. It was justified. It was white. Oh, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. So, I wasn't really honest, or I was afraid. You could get fell on by the Spirit. And so they called the children a monster. We cannot use the scriptures, weaponize them to hurt people's feelings because they won't come and take a flyer or they won't come and listen to what you got to say. That's not what this is for. The Bible calls it the gospel of peace. If they don't want it, then they don't want it. It's not meant for them at that time, but it's not for us to judge. And now you're going to call them how they the dogs of the earth. You're going to take the scriptures and twist it for your advantage. So, brothers, I'm telling you, man, the harvest is great, and the laborers today are still few. Far and few. I'm not claiming that we're the only ones. I'm just claiming that according to the scriptures, it's a lot of work to be done. And so if I'm pushing you to labor in abundance, that's because of the necessity that's here. The spirit and energy that's poured out to keep you afloat, to keep you alive, to keep you safe, to keep you in the spirit, keep your house together, keep your mind together, keep you on track. Everybody needs that. And it's not just the responsibility of those leaders that really realize that. That responsibility is handed down to you as well. Now you go and pour that same love that was poured into you to someone else. And you stay on them, helping them to see it and accept it, so that they can go and pour it on someone else. And that's how we help do our part, lay our brick in and build a community, man, that you got to live in, you turn the TV on, you want to see a changed behavior, but you got to be the behavior that you want to see. And you got to love doing it. Get to the point to where somebody looking at you like, dang, man, you exhausted, you tired, but I know you tired. You're like, yeah, but I could do it the same way. You know how we were in sports, and you were hurt, limping, and you still wanted to play? Tape it up, coach. I got this. You still out there wanting to play. That's how we to be in the truth. Limping, hurt, exhausted, tired. You still wanting to do it. That's how we to serve the Most High in spirit and truth. Not be grieved by and vexed and then charged and penalized because it's required that you not only be faithful, that you endure temptation, and then you sacrifice all your time to the point where you're like, man, I don't never get to do nothing. But you gonna get to do some stuff. But when it's asked of you, now ain't the time you can do it, because this is asked of you. A year ago, when we was 24/7, 7 days a week, that's how it felt to you. You thought you never got a rest. Sooner or later, that came to pass, and you got plenty of rest, right or wrong. You wasn't always here. You wasn't always flipping flyers, talking on the phone, at cars, talking to people in camp, giving counsel, get instructions. You got much rest. But if we are vessels that has the spirit and has the truth in us, you can't take that break. The Most High can't take a break. If we take a break, we die. So his spirit don't get faint. And that spirit inside of us. The book of Isaiah, chapter 40. In verse 25. It says, to whom then will you liken me? Or shall I be equal? Said the Lord. Lift up your eyes on high and behold who have created these things, that bring it out their host by number. He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his power. For that he is strong in power, not one faileth. Why sayest thou, O Jacob, and speakest thou, Israel, my way is hid from the Lord, and my judgment is passed over from my God. In other words, so when we do things, the Most High don't see it. And not only do we not see it, but he's not going to do anything about it. Hast thou not known? Hast thou not heard that the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainted not? He don't get tired, neither is weary. There is no searching of his understanding. He giveth power to the faint. So those of us that failed in might and failed in strength, the Lord will lift us up, exhort us, encourage us, urge us, direct us. And to them that have no might, he increases strength. Because you got to do what he has done. You got to do what he has given him his Christ to do, Yahushua. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So the spirit that we have in us is not the spirit of giving up. So if you got the spirit of fainting and wearying, I said earlier, that's not the spirit. That's not the spirit to have. Luke chapter 6. And 40. The book of Luke chapter 6, verse 40. The disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. How was the master Christ Yahushua? Diligent, faithful. No, he wasn't weary. No, he wasn't faint. No, he wasn't exhausted. No, he was about the Father's business. He was about the work of the Most High. So let's go back to Exodus chapter 31. Okay, bear with me. Exodus chapter 31 and verse. Do we read 13 yet? Verse 14, ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore it is holy unto you. Everyone that defiled it surely shall be put to death. Whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days shall work, 6 days may work be done. But in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest. So we dealt with what that rest is, cease from our works, and then what we should be doing, that's mainly as men, what we should be doing, right? Holy unto the Lord. So now we got to present ourselves holy, right? Let's see. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 45. Ezekiel 45 and verse 9. This is talking to the priests, what things that should be done. Thus says the Lord God, let it suffice you, O princes of Israel. Remove violence and spoil. So you should be talking and teaching about the removal of violence and stopping the violence and fighting the fight against it. And spoil. Spoil is teaching and showing people about destruction and how not to be destructive. Execute judgment and justice. Take away your exactions from my people, said the Lord. You shall have just balances and a just ephah and a just bath. So these are weights on the scale. But when you in our time convert this to what you can understand, you got to be telling people what's right and what's wrong in their dealings, on how they deal in the situations. We can't selfishly just ignore this. What if this is the reason why many are not having the success that they need to have? What if this is the straw that's breaking the camel's back in your life? What if this is the very thing that's withholding the blessings that should come, that you feel should come to you? Is it because what you're giving is what you want to give instead of learning what you should give? The Most High is instilling these things to you. You've said it to us hundreds and thousands of times. But yet our self-righteousness has prevailed again, and your interpretation and version of Sabbath still stands. Instead of, listen to this, I'm going to ask a question. Ye shall have just balances and a just ephah and a just bath. Now that's talking about things pertaining to measurements when you are given to someone, right? On a scale, right? You can't set the balance. Say, for instance, you got a 0, like for ladies so sisters can understand. You got a scale you're going to stand on. And you turn the little knob to make unbalanced. And now, say if you turn it and you make it an additional 15 pounds, no, you turn it backwards. So when you stand on it, it doesn't say that you weigh that much. You throw it off by 15 pounds. So if you were 150, all right, you were 150. When you stand on it, the thing is reading like 135. But if you zero it out and you weigh 150, it'd be weighing 165. So you got to balance it right so that it say what it say. So now, same thing with us men. But now our people are not dealing with those weights and balances to where they have to weigh things out in business. They have to weigh things out with equity and being fair. So your job as a prince and a teacher and priest in Israel is to tell them, meet them where they at, and tell them that they got to be fair when they go home, that they got to reason within themselves, and they got to go into them and they got to think, well, what's fair to that person? How would you like it? Now, when you find somebody that don't care about being abrasive, abusive, and they don't care, that's when you go into the other part where it says they to take away spoil, remove violence and remove spoil. But they got to go home and they got to bring forth that balance to where the other person is going to be happy with them, because houses are being torn up because of the way that they deal, how they feel, what they think, what's going on, their choice, their decision. And if you're the head of a house and you are an unjust head, you just destroyed the whole house. You destroyed the woman, you destroyed the relationship, you destroyed the relationship with the children, you destroyed the relationship that the woman got over the children. How? Because when you spoil the woman, she's neglecting the children because her relationship ain't right with you. She literally don't give a damn. All because of everything that you've done. So now you mean to tell me that you as a prince, you gonna take off? You got to teach this. That's what the master did. You got to put your will and your way and your thoughts off to the side. I'll get to that when I get to it. But now, Lord, I serve you. What do you need from me? Where do I need to go? You've been instructed now. You've been instructed. You've heard it, but you didn't listen. It's right here. Let's continue. Let's go back down to verse. Those are just examples. Let's jump. I know. I don't want to. Let's jump over to verse 17. Ezekiel 45:17. It shall be in the prince's part. The prince is the priest. The Lord is calling him a prince. Remember how we read earlier how the Most High dressed Aaron and his sons. That's the prince. It shall be the prince's part to give burnt offerings and meat offerings and drink offerings in the feast, in the new moons, and in the Sabbaths, and in the solemnities of the house of Israel. It's your job to function and to take these things from the people, and also to teach them how to do them correctly. He shall prepare the sin offerings. You're teaching people how to offer unto the Most High. So right now, they're not bringing an offering so that it can be consumed by fire. That's not what's being done. You know what's being done now? Hold this. We're going to come back and finish this. Let's go to Romans chapter 12. The book of Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. I beseech you, brethren. That word is interchangeable for what? I'm sorry, what did you say? Brethren, the brethren. Let's take the word from Ezekiel. Without going back, what did they call them? Princes. So now going back to Deuteronomy and Exodus, what were they called? The priests. So when you read 1 Peter, they have royal priesthood. Everybody follow me?
Yes.
Because that's what was talking. Now some of the ones that does the service of the Lord, right? So I'm begging you, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice. So now instead of the people coming to give to us, we're giving to them. Now we are alive. We are a living sacrifice. We got to present, show. That's what present is. You know how you make yourself up, brothers? They make sure their locks is nice and twisted up. They make sure that beard is nice and oiled up. You got the beard butter. How many brothers got the? How many brothers got the beard butter? The butter beard, the oil, beard oil. Okay. All right, so now that's because you're making sure that you look good. But here it says, Prince, present your body a living sacrifice. It's not talking about what you got on. Not talking about how you smell, how nice you look, coordinated. Some of you guys dress really nice. From head to toe. You got the fit on and stuff like that. Shoes to match. I don't even know how you get that color. How'd you bing, bing, bing? All the way up and down. Like you planned that. You know how long it take to get matching shoes? You know, you waited in this outfit, you lined it up. I'm going to bust it on them. I waited this long to find this. All right. Oh, that's good. Now, but now even more, right? You should be waiting to bust that spirit. Like I've been waiting this long to bust my spirit, brother. I'm doing the right thing. All praises, testifying, hallelujah, all praises to the Most High. I do the right thing. Yes, I did right with my wife. I did right with my children. That's right. Yeah, man, I'm doing the right thing. You know, I don't have an issue or problem with listening first, and I don't have no issue with understanding first. Woo, I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead, talk to me. Yeah, okay, I see that. I'm wrong at that. Okay, you know what? I can receive that. I'm gonna listen. I apologize. That's now we gotta present that. The fruit of our lips. Now we gotta present. It ain't about me. It's about you. I've sacrificed. I was bitter. No more. I was angry. No more. I'm going to sacrifice that. Because me being bitter doesn't make you happy. Me being angry, it doesn't help us. It self-destructs us. Look at our house. Look at our relationship. Look at our communication. The prince will sacrifice that. And once you get it, you know what the scriptures say? Man, we just go on and on. Go to hold this. So we should be holding two things: Ezekiel, Romans, and now Matthew 5. Ezekiel, Romans, Matthew 5. And this is to the princes. The Lord himself is teaching this. Let's read this one together. Wait a minute. That's just the men. Just the men. Let me hear y'all. Matthew chapter 5. So then the sisters, you'll read verse 16. We're going to hear from y'all. Because sisters, guess what? A lot of you are connected to a prince, and some of you going to be connected in the future to a prince, and you know what's gonna have to happen? You're gonna have to do likewise. All right, be that sacrifice, be the living sacrifice to where you getting it right and you bringing it out. So on 3, so remember, brothers, you got verse 15. 1, 2, and 3.
Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel.
Stop. So you don't light so you don't get it and then don't bring it out. No, you don't do that. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel. Because if you take the candle and put it under a bushel, what's going to happen?
It's gonna go out. It's gonna be blocked.
It's gonna be dead.
It's going to be hid. It's going to go out. Yes, it's going to be hid. So a bushel, it's like a pot or a container. You will hide it. Right. You'll hide it. It needs to flicker. It needs to illuminate. It needs to glow around the environment so they can see. Let's read the next part on 3, 1, 2, and 3.
But on the candlestick.
Stop. But on a candlestick with nothing, with no walls obscuring it, hiding the illumination from the light. As a prince, that's your job. Excuse me. So your experience of overcoming situations, you have to take that and put it out there. Yes, overcoming situations is a journey. It's a journey. But once you make it to your destination, then you preach the path. You should be able, you're gonna have to travel that journey over and over and over, because we're gonna be faced with temptation every day. We're gonna be faced with trials, tribulations, temptations of Satan and bad things, and every day. We're going to be faced with a lot of situations every day. But one thing you should know is the path. Once you learn, please never forget. Stop letting things slip away. Stop letting it get away. Stop forgetting. Stop being overactive and distracted with toys and drunkenness and drugs and emotions. Clear your mind and listen unto the Most High that showed you what was the way that it used? We used those several examples in the beginning of this, how the Most High have given you wisdom and given you understanding to work certain things. He gave you the path. He showed you. Stop forgetting the path. All right, go ahead. On 3, 1, 2, and 3.
And he giveth light unto all that are in the house.
And he giving light unto everybody. So remember how the scriptures told us about the Christ, how they were astonished. When you show up with what you know to do that's right, you're going to be edifying. People are going to enjoy the fact that they had the conversation with you. It's not you that give the increase. So please, one way or the other, you don't have to feel no type of way about when a person going to change. You don't have to feel any type of way about what, Yeshua? Jeremiah?
That they gonna change.
That's not what I said.
Shit, I don't know if you know type of way, but when they
Was-
gonna change.
When they are going to change. Words make a difference. When they are going to change. Because you may never see their change. The only way you'll see their change is if they have fellowship with you. But your job is not you intending to go speak to somebody and plant, water, increase. It's this. You gonna see the change. No, your job is simply go and speak unto them. Once you speak unto them, you gave light to them. The choices that they made, now it's up to them. Now you go off, not to be feeling no type of way. And we talked about people that are destroying our people in the streets, yelling at them, calling them demons and devils and monsters, telling them they're going to be killed and destroyed. If somebody had said that to me, I wouldn't have listened to them either. I'd have been offended. And then if the next group of people that would have came along, even if they would have been okay and cool with it, I probably still would have been offended from the last people. And it would have been made hard to hear. So be careful. You can't rail on people. You're only supposed to show the light, not the darkness about you, but the light. Okay, sisters on 3, 1, 2, and 3.
Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
So, as a woman, your learning process in this truth, the light that you have, you can't take that and hide that either. You are not to be empty, fruitless, dead, twice dead, 3 times dead, 4 times dead. You're not to be dead works. Because there is a such thing as dead works. You know what a dead work is? A dead work is somebody that they apologize for certain things and they repent. And then they apologize again, then they repent again. Those are dead works. We're not to be like that. Sisters, you are not to be like that. Hebrews 6 and verse 1. The book of Hebrews, chapter 6. In verse 1, it says, therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ. So what is the principle? The principle is see, how can I explain this without dragging us all over the Bible? In my mind, I'm like, okay. So we get an understanding. We should get an understanding of what is being commanded us in the scriptures. Don't do this and don't do that. Don't do this. And you learn that by learning the scriptures, right?
Right.
You learn what to do and what not to do. Now, stop altering the instruction of the scriptures. Stop adding to it. Stop taking away from it. Live as it is written and go accordingly. Follow the instructions. So, with that being said, we're going to make that the principle. Then it says, let us go on unto perfection. Now, what needs to be perfect? Our application in what you're doing. So now let's, even though brothers would benefit from this, let's talk to sisters. Let us go on until perfection. You learn what you shouldn't do. You learn how you shouldn't talk. You learn what you shouldn't say. That's the principle. You heard in the scriptures, you know it's to be true, you believe in it, you see it's wrong. Now perfect it. Now perfect it. Now be perfect. Perfect is I'm never doing it again because it's offensive, it's insulting, it's disrespectful, it's not building, it's turned down. A lot of sisters are accused of things are the way it is because things are the way it is because of what you do. It's on you. Guys blaming it on you. Young sisters that are unmarried, raise your hand. You're young, you're not married, raise your hand. All right. So let me tell you something. You will be blamed for how the situation is if you're backbiting, if you're argumentative, if you're talking back, if you're stubborn, if you're rebellious, if you have an attitude, if you're haughty, if you're lazy, if you're feisty, if you like, I don't give a dang. If you do and say things because you know the guy, he ain't gonna hit you, he ain't gonna do nothing. If you're disrespectful, if you're calling him out of his name, oh, you this, you're that, you're this and that, you're this and that, you are going to be accused of wrecking the house. You are wrecking the house. You're causing so much damage that it's possible to be irreconcilable. And you're foolish because that's the only man on earth that you can have. Why would you tear up the one thing that you got? It's like tearing your heart out. You only got one. And did you know that the heart in your chest that thing pumps the blood? Yeah. Well, I heard that the lungs did. And that the heart is just a valve. But why? You'll be accused of that. A home wrecker. Oh, yeah, let's call it that. A home wrecker. Say, for instance, you love a guy. You love the guy. Talking to the single women. You love the guy. And this is my guy crazed over. And somebody changed that love. Some hooker. He can't see it. You know, she's some harlot that she's nasty and you know, you saw her before, she taunt you, she look at you like she don't care, but she got him all fooled. Even though a situation like that in the truth shouldn't exist, because as a man, he shouldn't even be attracted to harlots. That's way off, but I'm just entertaining how this woman is wrecking your house. She wrecked the house, she wrecked the rhythm of the house. She made him a fornicator because you expect that he's probably screwed this girl. She's got him lying to you. He's not honest where he's been, what he's doing. She's did all of these things. What else? The way you feel, the way he feel about you ain't the same. He had the minds for you. He's talked to you. All these things with you. He wrecked your house. She wrecked your house. Things were smooth. Y'all used to do things together. Y'all do nothing together. Wrecked your house. Things just ain't normal. And because y'all now, you know, you didn't used to talk like that, but now because you got to beat the fence. You playing the fence because you're trying to protect yourself. And the way that you talk now is now you hold no respect for them. Things has changed. That wrecked your house, right? Would that wreck your house is? That'll wreck your house, right? That'll make things all bad, right? So now let's take her away, because that's fictional. The same way she wrecked your house, you wreck your house by doing things to this guy. He can't hit you, so you talk out your flabbergasted mouth. You know, he's spiritual. He's trying to be spiritual and strong, so he's not disrespectful. But you just off the chain, off the hook, all this backbiting. You won't do nothing. You do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it. You not subject to anybody. You're not subject to him. The only person you listen to is the reflection in the mirror. You wrecking your house. That's not good right there. So the same way that you know that this woman came in and made things bad, that's how a woman can make things bad. If you sisters, if you're not right and you doing all of this, trust and believe, you're going to tear it down. You're going to change the relationship. You're going to change that house. And it might never be the same again. And it will be because of what you did. Now you can say, oh, he's got fault and he's responsible for certain things. But he got to worry about what he's done, and you got to worry about what you've done. So when you learning this as a woman, you got to grow from the principle and start being perfect. So this Hebrews 6:1, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ. Let us go into perfection. So now you got to perfectly rule your spirit, perfectly shut up. See, that's a short way of saying it, but a nice way is silent. Okay, I ain't talking. Just don't say nothing. That's nice, but it means the same thing. Perfectly. Not laying again the foundation of repentance. Not saying, I apologize, I'm sorry, over and over and over. You're sorry for this, I'm sorry for that. Doing the same thing, not doing that. Without a show of hands, how many sisters do that? You've been apologizing over and over for the exact same stuff over and over. There are people that, here it is, from dead works. The work is dead. You know it wasn't right. You were sorry the last time. You sorry again? Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry again. And then it says, and a faith towards God. I'm going to believe in the Most High. You going to believe in this time? So as a woman, you're not to be like that. So you to present your body a living sacrifice as a woman so that other people can see this thing. And the spirit of the Most High is inside of you, talking to you and telling to you. A lot of sisters be ignoring the spirit of the Most High that's talking to them in their mind. He's talking to you. He's telling you that's wrong. He's telling you that what people's telling you is right. You be ignoring it. You won't even, the spirit have dominion over you so strong that faint, vivid spirit of the God that's inside of you, because you let the spirit of anger rapidly increase inside, enrage in your mind, it be boiling. You let it get inside of you and grow and form and take root inside of you to where you stop listening to the common God, the Most High spirit inside you, telling you, now you know you ain't wrong. Without a show of hands, how many people they've been wrong in the situation? They know they ain't wrong, but they don't have the strength or the power. I'm gonna say it like this: you know you wrong, but you still don't change. You just leave it as it is. Knowing now it's wrong, I just leave it like I'm gonna leave it like that. And then your mind start convincing you that in order for things to be right, it takes someone else to make a move. It takes, I'm gonna let him do it, or I'm gonna let her do it, I'm gonna let them do it. But you know that your participation in the situation was wrong. But you're gonna let somebody else, I'm gonna see what they do. That's not right. You're supposed to do something. What you're supposed to do is be holy. That's right. You're supposed to be holy. That means you're supposed to apply not what the anger is telling you, but what the Most High is telling you. You're supposed to confess your fault in the situation. Wait a second. I wonder, did we all hear that? What are we supposed to do, Jeremiah? Take a sit up. You sleeping? No. Stomach hurt? You're supposed to confess your fault. Wait a second, dude. Are we all listening? Mm-hmm. You have a fight with somebody. You have a disagreement with somebody. You upset at this point. You got to let the wrath and the anger go. Once it's gone, now you got to fight to get it up off of you. Once you get it up off of you, the person still ain't show back up. And how do you confess your fault? You say, hey, look here. I know that, so listen up, pay attention. You got to fight. You got to fight. Disagreement, argument. Things ain't go right. Oh, you pissed. Like, oh, I'm pissed. I don't like this, that. Find a way to calm down. Once you calm down, actually the Bible says, don't let the sun set. Oftentimes, I almost say it every time, but somebody gonna say, I don't do that. All right, we all done it, and we all do it. Because we're not that strong yet. We fail. We fail. And that's why we constantly got to repent. You let the sun set. Satan is whooping us. Tomorrow, you're still tripping off what they did. You ain't going to be able to see clearly until you realize that you are wrong too. When you realize that you are wrong, when you realize about your behavior, when you realize that, dang, man, I'm supposed to be better than that. One of the classes, it resonates with you, touch you on your spirit about what you're supposed to do. It is separated from what they be doing. You're like, man, I know I got to be some type of way. Once you really realize how you're supposed to be, now I'm telling you what to do. Now you go to them and you say, hey, man, listen, we tried to talk yesterday, bro. I got angry. I apologize for getting angry. That was on me. I shouldn't have used the profanity. I shouldn't have said this. I shouldn't have said that. I was wrong with that. I just want to apologize for, what I'm saying, what I had said. That was wrong. Now I know he was wrong and real strong. But the moment that I start telling him how he was wrong, I tried that yesterday. It didn't work then. You know what has to happen? What I went through, that's what he got to go through. He got to have that reflection within himself and want to be right. So after I'm confessing my fault and apologizing, we expect the other person to apologize, wait on it. And if it don't happen, I'm gonna tell you what to do. Say wait it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wait.
Or wait on it. Wait for it. Just wait for it. Because I can't pull his tongue. If I make him, it's not genuine.
Right.
He knows that he needs to apologize. So by me making this atmosphere of animosity go away, I cleared the smoke. We both now can see. Now he can see that I'm no demon. I'm no devil. I'm his brother that he did wrong. Because I came in the spirit of meekness.
Right.
Proverbs chapter 17. Pay attention. Proverbs 17:7. Look who it's talking to. It's talking to us. Excellent speech but coming not a fool. In other words, excellent speech don't come from a fool. So we're no fool. Much less do lying lips of prince. So a prince, somebody that's esteemed to be great, is not supposed to have a lying spirit. A lying spirit in this case is, I've done no wrong. I'm harmless. I'm blameless. I've done no harm. I'm harmless. I'm blameless. Pay attention. I'm going to say it slow. Stop trying to make people accept BS. Let me say it again. Stop trying to make people accept your attitude. It's not righteous. As a prince, we don't do that. I'm wrong. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. When I offended you, I what?
Offended you.
I offended you. If I said it wrong, I said it what?
Wrong.
I cannot force you to accept that, because wrong is never what?
Right.
And right is never what?
Wrong.
That's right. So you're right at that. You're right that I said it when I was bitter. I said it with an attitude. A lot of people don't grow because you lie to yourself. You got lying lips. That's not supposed to be in the prince. That's not supposed to be in you. You leaders, you light that illuminate this earth. Stop pushing BS. Sisters, you got that crappy attitude. Sisters can have a crappy attitude. Grumpy, snappy, tired, faint, moody, crampy, whatever it is. It ain't right. Stop representing it as normal, like you pushing it like accept this. No, never do that, because to you might be right to you, but to the Lord you're wrong, and to the guy you're wrong. And that be making a difference. When something is wrong, just tell the guy, something is wrong. Just give me a minute. I gotta get myself together. He gonna be like, oh, is there anything I can do? Nah, there's nothing I can do. I'm just, I'll be all right. Then go and be all right. Go and get that. But stop lying. You will never be on lock tight on one accord with your people like that. In your house, it won't be right. You got an attitude. He's telling you, I see your countenance. I see your facial expression. That means something. In your mind off. You got to give an account of it because he saw it. Ain't nothing wrong. It's like maybe nothing he did, but there's something there. So just please be honest and don't have lying lips. Because the moment you're not forthcoming, even if you don't want to explain the situation, just be like, not now. But don't lie. Because the lie is known. So Proverbs 17 and verse 8, a gift. In this case, the gift is when you came and you said, hey, you got yourself to the smoke cleared, you humbled yourself, and you say, you know what, I apologize because I got angry and I said something. Shouldn't have said that. That's all that person wanted. That's what they want from you. They curse you. They want to be at one with you. They don't want you acting like that. We are connected with members one of another. We are connected so much with each other. We love each other. We want to be with each other. The thing is that things ain't right when we not right together. But they right. We have so much joy when everybody on the same page. You and your fellow, sisters and your sisters, brothers and sisters, husbands and wives, sons and daughters. Boy, you good when things are right. But when things ain't right, it's funky. So when we come with that, I apologize type of thing, that's the gift. That's the gift. That's like somebody give you something. That's worth more that's invaluable. So it says a gift is as precious to him that have it. It's like a valuable, like a diamond, man. Whathersoever it turneth, what the Bible say? So how you gonna say that the apology ain't gonna? They ain't gonna accept it. See how Satan be working in our minds?
Yeah.
You don't mean that. Why would you tell somebody that the apology wasn't real? You were instigating a fight. More. What did I just do? Blow the spark. You sitting here trying to. So when you take coals or some wood or something, and it's red, but it don't have the flames, and you want to get a fire to start blowing it. Are you seeing they fan it and stuff like that? You watch TV, and the building is on fire. You got a young firefighter, right? He's finna reach to open the door, and all the senior firefighters are like, no, don't open that door. He opened the door and an explosion. Boom, because it takes oxygen to ignite more flames. You blowing the spark by telling them that apology, you don't mean it. Don't worry about it, I don't need it. When it's supposed to be like, as a gift to you. They sorry. Like, I'm sorry. That's the gift they trying to give to you, man. We can't do that. You can't. All of these things be transparent and all these things be happening back and forth amongst two people. Let it prosper. Let it help you change. And we supposed to feel that our thing is going to prosper. It's going to prosper those that give the gift, those that give the apology. It's going to move them to see where they was wrong at. You ain't even got to ask them. Do you see where you was wrong too?
Right.
Yeah, you see? Do you understand what I was trying to tell you? See, I was trying to tell you the same thing yesterday. You working against Satan. Don't give Satan fuel. Don't give Satan fuel. Just wait. Wait for them. Wait for it to resonate with them. Now, there's more. It says, he that covereth a transgression seeketh love. That's you. This not saying this ain't this type of covering is and where we're using it, not the type of covering where you're trying to hide what you're doing. You are trying to not. I'm gonna cover that with some goodness. Well, let's say, for instance, you and I, right? There's a situation with you and I, and I'm gonna cover the transgression, meaning instead of foolishly dealing. I'm gonna cover that foolishness. Like you cover your mouth, like you cover your nakedness. In other words, I'm going to hide what I'm doing, not in wickedness, but I'm looking to love you. I'm looking for your love. I'm looking for your embrace. So instead of opening it up and shamelessly steady dealing with you, I'm going to cover it up. Let's use it like if we're in the same car and I just keep coughing, you know what I'm saying? You like, bruh, cover your mouth. Cover your mouth so that don't come out. So aggression that I got going on, I'm trying to cover that. I'm trying to fight that. Because I got love for you and I'm trying to win you. So when there are issues that you have with somebody, you must cover that so that you can gain that person's love, not just recklessly not care. Right? Don't be like that. Recklessly not care. You have to care about the other person. These are the things that you teach to the children of Israel, but these are the things that we must experience first. When we experience these things first, then we are going to understand that this is what's happening in every house. So going out looking, I think that, so we be looking at the flesh. Like this guy is 6'3". Oh man, this is a nice, strong guy. Brother, hey, you'll get a lot of people attention, man. Come with this truth. You halfway there. You got a beard. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You got the beard. You know, you could apply the scriptures, man. You gonna be, you can't see what the Lord looked. Most High rejected him. Yeah. Then here's another one. Here's the woman, right? She looks like she needs help. She's a damsel in distress. She have a form of godliness, but she denied the power. What is denying the power? The spirit in her mind, where the spirit lives and where the spirit dwells, she's denying it. To you, she's already got a head cover on. She stopped. She heard a few precepts. You're like, oh yeah, she's gonna be good for this. Most High reject her too. The Most High search the heart. So all you got to do is stay the course, do the work, and then the Most High is going to gonna send them, and they're gonna survive. Many times I've, in my small understanding, thought that this person is gonna survive. They fell by the wayside. This person is not gonna thrive. They survive it. I give up. I don't know as I ought to know. Lord, it's up to you. So now I'm just going to make myself available and do the work. And if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. They're gonna prove it to you. You ain't got nothing to prove to me. That last statement, yes, you know, we are examples of what's right. But when I say that you got nothing to prove to me, I'm thinking in relative, as I'm meeting you for the first time, for the second time, for the 10th time. I don't have the expectation of you are going to make it. I don't know what's gonna happen with you. I have to treat everybody the same. Here's the flyer, here's the book, here's the chops, here's the verse, this the fellowship of the Spirit. It'll definitely help. We can't see. The Spirit blow it where it wants to blow it. The Spirit, everybody that is born of the Spirit, they born of the Spirit because of the Most High and not because of us. So Proverbs 17:9, the second precept, it says, but he that repeated the matter separated very friends. So if you continue to do the same things over and over and over, you was close, but now you're not close anymore. Yeah, you created a separation. So don't do that. This is what you teach. Tell them not to do that. Tell them to stop. Maybe the Most High will be graceful to repair or not for them to experience that. So when we present ourselves according to Romans 12, it's acceptable unto God. That's our reasonable service. When you do that, that's what you do. That's the least you could do. So I want us to lose that. I want us to go back to Ezekiel 45.
Bless you.
Okay, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 45, and verse 17, it shall be the prince's part to bring forth these offerings now. And once we accepted offerings and we sat back and did nothing, now it's our part to be the living example. Meat offerings, drink offerings, and the feast, new moons, Sabbaths. So that we get where I'm going. So you should be setting your examples of your, excuse me, of your complete sacrifice during the feast, during new moons, during Sabbaths, and all solemnities of the house of Israel. Solemn days, days that are set aside, he shall prepare the sin offering, meat offerings, and the burnt offerings, and peace offerings. So the peace offering are things that will bring peace between men and the Most High. Things that the Most High will be at odds with you with anything. When you hearing things that the Lord will be at odds with a person over. To explain those things to Israel, and now hopefully the Most High would allow you to now be at one with that person to where they could learn those things from you. It says to make reconciliation for the house of Israel, so the Israelites could be reconciled back into the Most High. Let's see. Right. So Exodus 31. Tell you what, let's can Exodus 31. And go to Deuteronomy chapter 30. So Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 10, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law, and if thou turn unto the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul. So the voice of the Lord is written in the book. For this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It says written. And by it being wrote, it's then formulated in the mind as a reminder, and you should be hearing it. It should be speaking unto you. That's why we have to study, we have to read. We have the assemblies, solemn assemblies, normal assemblies, to where we frequently fellowship. The choice that you make to devote your time to the learning of the laws, the statutes, and the commandments is an investment in yourself. It's a blessing that you have elected to say, hey, I am going to do this. You are investing in life. This is not something that, is supposed to run its course, or it's only for this amount of time. This is forever. And along the way, you're meeting some beautiful people. You're gaining a worldwide family. You're learning and getting to know the best people in the world. I have found that you brothers and sisters are the best people in the world. There are no finer people that I've ever met in life. I've met people and they were all good for what they were good at. They they served the purpose that they served. If I played sports with them, I played sports. If I worked on a job, I worked on a job. They were not good for me and to me outside of that purpose, is what I'm saying. But you are all purpose. You are amazing in every aspect. When I have a problem with you, I don't throw you out. I have to say something about the problem. When you have a problem with me, you don't throw me out. You just say something about the problem. You said this to hurt my feelings. Not to hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings. It offended me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I got a little bit beside myself. But that's not my heart to where I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So we learn that. We learn this. And if you really sit back and you really think about it, you will not find a finer people nowhere in the world. Now, you can go and get a meal in a lot of places. You can go and get somebody to give you clothes in a lot of places. Beware of the gift. The gift, it might not be a trick. It can genuinely be somebody, they love people. Here's a plate. You hungry? Here's a plate. Eat, eat, eat. But see, what you got to understand, the Lord is deeper, who created men out of dust. He formulated, he knows about the creation, that you can have the ability to give somebody a coat, give somebody food, and not possess the spirit to be long-suffering, to be kind, gentle, okay? Not selfish, seeking her own, vaunted not itself, rejoice in iniquity. So the same person who don't have the ability to do all of those things can feed the poor. Give their body to be burned. They'll be heroic. Leap out of the car, run into a situation. Oh, they take a chance. I'm helping. I'm pulling them out of the burning building. They can do a lot. But these people, they have the ability that God is telling you that they have in Corinthians 13. And that's the ability to keep that's in that it takes your mind to recognize a friend. So this is a brand, this is a person that I can go the distance with. A person that fixes your offense. He's only good to fix the fence. A person that gave you a plate, they only good for the meal. But this person is good for life. This person is accountable, dependable, everlasting. The spirit whose life, the spirit God is in this person. That's who you brothers and sisters are. And that's how you got to look at one another. And we get that as we accept being in this covenant of the Most High, and we're reading the scriptures, and the scriptures is leading and guiding you. Let it direct your path. Because people are seeing the way the scriptures guide you. What did I just say?
People are seeing the way the scriptures guide.
That's right. And if you're not walking in the scriptures, they see that. They see that. You should look for the walking of the scriptures. Is he walking in the scriptures? Is she walking in the scriptures? Go to the book of Psalms. Psalm chapter 25. The book of Psalms, chapter 25 and verse 4. Listen to it. Shew, meaning show me thy ways. O Lord, teach me thy paths. Based upon what we were talking about in Deuteronomy 30 and how we should see people applying the scriptures that the Most High, that the voice of the Most High spoke to them. And that's how he got it into you. He spoke to you. He spoke to me. I read it. He spoke to me. It resonated in my spirit. I feel it in my bones. I feel it. I'm doing it. And you should see people doing it. I'm giving you the answer to the question that I'm going to ask. Show me thy paths, O Lord, and teach me. Show me thy ways and teach me thy paths. What is that saying based upon what was just said?
Send somebody else to me with your words so I can learn it.
Okay, not quite. Somebody else.
You should be seeing them doing what the scripture's saying, and you should be saying walking the path that the scripture's saying.
Okay, fine, acceptable. Show me what it looked like. Show me what it looked like. When I see this, I need to show me what it looks like, is what I'm trying to say. Show me what it looks like. Show me thy ways. Show me what it looks like. Oh Lord, teach me thy paths. Show me somebody walking on the path so I can understand the path. I can understand what it looks like. Because that's the path that you need to know. Go to the 27th chapter. Psalm chapter 27. Psalm chapter 27 and 11. The book says, teach me. Same aspect. Now I'm going to ask another question. Teach me thy way, O Lord. Lead me in a plain path. Let's start with that. Teach me thy way, O Lord, and lead me in a plain path. Explain.
Something that's easy to be understood for you to follow.
Okay. Somebody else. Not quite. Teach me thy way. So remember, what we're using is we're asking the Most High to show me somebody on the path. Teach me thy way. So give me somebody to see. Lead me in a plain path. Plain is simple. So lead me in a plain path. Make it easy for me to understand. A lot of times, you ever been, I don't think you said that.
I said, I said like make it easy for you to understand, like to follow. Because I was looking at the part when it said plain.
That's it.
So that when I said that, I was referring to that part right there. So it's like easy to be understood for you to follow the path.
Okay, then that's okay. So lead me in a plain path. So people, now check this out. people are different. They learn different ways. You have visual learners. People learn from illustrations. You have people that learn through text. You can read and your comprehension is good. Then you have people that learn from instructions. You can give them instructions and they can learn, right? I think that I'm a versatile. I can learn from illustrations. That's probably maybe one of my weakest right there. An illustration, believe it or not. But a listener, I'm cold. I love to hear it. I listen. That's the power right there, to listen and then to read. I can read something and understand it. Pictures would be last, but pictures do help me. Some you might not be, that might not. What's your strong suit? Pictures, you got a strong suit? That's number one for you. Give you a picture, you see it, bam. Okay, and what about verbal? Somebody give you a verbal instruction about something, you get that? Okay, and what about it's wrote down? You wrote down? Okay, so those are your strong suits right there. So now with all that being said, now, Lord, teach me in a plain way. If the Most High knows that you are a person that needs illustration, Lord, help me run across something that will draw a picture for me. It will paint the picture for me. Okay, now another one is your strong suit. Lord, teach me plain, meaning help me plain to understand it. Give me somebody that's going to explain it to me, because you are a listening person. They can make it make sense. Give me somebody that's going to make it make sense. They're going to take the time and, explain it, break it down, to leave nothing out in detail. I try to be that type of person, to break every avenue down to where you can't miss it. That's the reason why the classes will be so long, because I want to reach everybody. Sometimes we're on the board, illustrations. All the time, I'm explaining it in great detail, asking, is there any questions? Man, woman, and child. Don't be afraid. Ask your question. Raise your hand. Let me know. Because I don't want to leave anybody left behind. And then reading. So you can read, and sometimes you could be a person that read and still not understand it. And I've had people say, how'd you get that? That interpretation, how do you get that? It doesn't exactly say what you're saying. So here it says it like this, then I'll take you to 2 or 3 other places to help verify what this means. Mm-hmm. Because you're a person that, as it is written, might not be your strong suit. Teach me in a plain way, Lord. Okay, teach me, because remember, you have to be taught. It does say, teach me. So teach me the way that is going to be plain for me, so I'm not confused. Verse 12, it says, deliver me not over unto the will of my enemies. The enemy is sin. So you don't want to be delivered over to sin. Your lust, your desires, your thoughts, your ways. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 30. And the second part of 10, if thou turn unto the Lord with all thy heart and with all thy soul, So let's get there. Deuteronomy chapter 10 and 30. I'm going to come with a question. Deuteronomy 30 and 10, I mean. Deuteronomy 30 and 10. I'm sorry. Don't run with it. It'll take us, we at the end. Deuteronomy 30 and 10. Listen, I'm going to start at the top, and I got a question. And in order to get the answer to the question, you have got to be paying attention. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and the statutes that is written in the book of the law. If thou turn unto the Lord with all thy heart. So when turning unto the Lord, how do you turn unto the Lord? Where's the Lord?
In another person.
Okay, somebody, you was first, was I, what'd you say?
In another person.
Okay, G.
And examples in them clean, in them plain things you asked for.
Okay, go ahead. What did you say?
I said it, Mom.
In the mind. Okay, listen. Verse 10. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord to keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in the book of the law. So it's in the book of the law. It's the voice that's in the book of the law. That's the answer. If thou turn unto the Lord, if you turn into the book of the law with all your heart, when you're having issues, you got to go as it is written. You got to get back into the scriptures with all your heart. Your heart is your mind, and all your soul. Your soul is your spirit. You got to have your spirit zealously desirous of this. All right? You got to have your spirit desirously with this. Verse 11, for this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. Why? Where is it?
In the book.
That's right. That's right. It's not hidden from you. This commandment which I command thee, it is not hidden from thee, because it's in the book.
Right.
It's not far. It is not in heaven. That thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. Like some of you, you want proof. You want something outside of what? That's right, the book. The voice of the Lord that is written in the book of the law. You're not going to get that. What's happening is the scripture should be repeated in your mind because you read it from the book. You already know what to do, but yet you're doing the opposite. And doing the opposite is not listening unto the Lord. You're doing the opposite of it. The voice of the Lord is inside of your spirit. It's in your mind because he ingrained it there. When you read the scriptures, you're like, oh, I read that. The same way, give me a nice, a funny movie, some type of movie that you saw before, and you just like, you can quote the lines from it. Right. He said life. Okay, what line in life?
How about I turn y'all both into niggas pie?
You see? Okay, right. You say 5 miles? 5 miles. Yeah, okay. So now reading the scriptures, guess what? It's right there. And when that reminder of what you're supposed to be doing in the scriptures start talking to you, that's the voice of the Lord that you got to listen to. If you don't do it, you're not listening unto the Lord, the spirit that's in you. And you're not supposed to let sin take control over you. That was just verbally said earlier. You're not supposed to let sin take control of you, because what is it trying to do? Destroy you? What else? According to Scripture, what is it trying to do?
Have dominion.
Matthew 13. The book of Matthew, chapter 13. In verse 19. Getting to the point. Take you out the path. All right. It says, Matthew 13 and 19. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, as a matter of fact, it's wrote in the scriptures, in the book of the law, and understandeth it not. What about it they don't understand? Why they can't do it? Then cometh the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside. So Satan, if you're not careful, Satan will grow in your mind in the thought process of, I want to do it, I gotta do it, please let me do it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. That seed of wickedness will grow so much inside of your mind to where it'll begin to diminish the thing that was sown in your heart, the words that you read that instructed you what to do and what not to do. It'll get to the point to where it'll convince you that there is no severe consequences if you make that choice. But I just choose and elect to do it. This on me. It'll diminish the strength of sin. It'll diminish the consequences, in other words. That's what it'll diminish. It'll make you think that there is nothing going to happen. It'll deceive you. Go to the book of Romans. The book of Romans, chapter 7. In verse 11, but sin taking occasion by the commandment. For sin taking occasion, meaning it's taking advantage of what you know. That's what it means by the commandment. So Satan knows how much you know. It knows how you're trying to keep the scriptures. It's trying to obey the voice of God inside of your mind. But you know what it needs to do now? The next part says what? Deceive me. So now it's need to be more than what you know in the scriptures. It needs to talk to you more. It's going to talk to you more. It's going to talk to you frequently. It's going to talk to you often. It's going to beautify sin. It's going to entice you, seduce you. It's going to make you obey unrighteousness. So I'm saying obey unrighteousness, but it's going to make you look with longing. It's going to play the emotional card. You're going to have your affections involved. It's going to put your thoughts involved. It's going to spread it on like sweet cream. It's going to give it a twist, a zing, a lemon, baby. It's going to make it pop, fire. Now instead of it being lewd, oppressive, wicked, instead of it being all of those things, you're going to be thinking about how pleasant it is. And the consequences in your mind, God will forgive. That's what you're going to be thinking. So sin knows the job that it needs to do to get you to stop listening to everything that you've read and everything that you've studied. So those thoughts of sin is growing rapidly in your mind, decreasing the voice of the commandments of the Most High to a point to where you're blotting it out, to where you're not even hearing it as much. And anybody that will come with it, you're running from them. You're not taking that call. You're not responding to that text. You're not showing up at their school because they're going to come out the scriptures. They're going to come out the very thing that's reminding you that what you want to do, you should not be doing. And the job of sin is to deceive you, is to make that voice of the Lord very small. Because it knows how much is inside of your head. So it has to be to play the whole role of deceit. That's the job of sin. To make itself of volume. Volume is more. And make the voice of the Lord very small in your head. And you don't even understand that it's doing you like that. To where you're not hearing that voice. It's there, but you're not listening unto it. But you're obeying the voice of unrighteousness. See? Now, there's more. It says, and by it, slew me. So it'll destroy you. That will get you destroyed. The whole time, the whole while, you embracing that feeling, you're feeling good. But when the consequences of the Lord come in, when they kick in, man, it destroys. It destroys people, man. I don't even want to be that type. I don't even want to be that person. And if you just open your eyes up and open your ears, you see a lot of people hurt because they got destroyed by sin. But they let sin deceive them. And they was once like you, like, man, I don't want that to happen. I pray that don't happen. How could that happen? I wouldn't do that. But they let Satan come in with the wow. That, oh, it ain't that bad. I got this. I can handle it. You start meddling with sin. You start flirting with sin. You start flirting with temptation of anything. It could be drugs, alcohol, some type of flirtation with sin, lust, like any type of worldly, anything. When the grace of the Most High taught us to deny worldly and ungodly lust, it taught you to live sober, but you chanced it. And by chancing it, now you burn with the flame, the fire that come from it. Now you're another statistic. So those that are in Christ, you got to suffer the persecution of denying that. You got to see that your life is in our resurrection, and that this life is in the preaching and teaching and the living example of listening to the voice of the Most High that's wrote in the scriptures, and being obedient and chastening ourselves to the obedience of listening unto the scriptures at all times, sacrificing whatever it is that would come up against the commandment of the Most High through Christ. You see, that's the only way that you could survive. Anything else, you just gonna fall in your 15th year of the truth, man. 16th year of the truth, 17th year of the truth, 20th year, all that time. Remember that brother Maccabees, Eleazar, man? He said, man, I can't do that. All this time, after all these years, that I will fall, that I will disassemble. Yeah, he said, I ain't doing that, man. So that's how you gotta be. You brothers and sisters, y'all gotta make it count, man. And the only way to make it count is to devote yourself into this faith and believe it unto the end. Some of the things that make people stumble and fall is a relationship. God got you. He said marriage is honorable. He got you, man. You just cannot parade around and test drive people like we did when we was ignorant, when we didn't know it. And now the young people, we suffered the affliction of doing it, and we still suffering the afflictions of doing it because we didn't get away. God judged, believe it or not. And now we could teach you different, to be different and to be stronger than what we were when we were your age, so that you're not burned with the same flames that we got burned with. You're not suffering those consequences. So that's why you get those warnings that come from us, like don't do this and don't do that. But is marriage honorable? Absolutely. That's the top thing in Israel. To be fruitful and multiply. That's respectfully. But whoring, nah. The Bible says whoremongers and adulterers God to judge. You're gonna have a bad. And the thing is that you can't really see clearly. So that's why it takes time to get calibrated in the truth, to find your walk, to find it takes time to make that permanent decision. Like, I'm gonna be with you for the rest of my life. You know, we're gonna be aged together. I'm gonna bury you, or you gonna bury me. I got you. I'm gonna have children with you. That other stuff that y'all trying to do, go out to eat and get a milk thing at the feast, and you know, take pictures, post it up. You don't know if this person is gonna endure or not. You like the outer appearance. You better start investing in life. Like, Lord, teach me the path. Let me see what you see. That's a difference right there. This truth then shocked me back into reality and into a place so many times with people. So many times. I have no faith in men. It's all the spirit. I gotta see the spirit, brother. Walk the path. That's what I'm looking for. I ain't listening to your mouth. I ain't listening to look at how you dress. I ain't looking at nothing but that path. What does that path say? And you ain't even got to use a word. I'm just sitting here looking at the choices and the decisions that you make. That speaks volumes. That represents you. It's either the path or it's not. We might try to explain to one another. All right, fine. When you're done, path, go to it. Go get it. Don't let sin do you like that, man. Sin taking advantage of by the commandment to see me and slow me. Sin already know how much you know. And it's coming to get you, man. Don't let that happen. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 30. Anybody not understand that part? Anybody not understand this part? It's like being set up. Yeah, it's like being preyed on. Sin will prey on you. Sin will prey on your weaknesses. Sin will prey on your weaknesses. It knows what you're trying to. It knows how to break you down. I'm trying to get out of here. Not here, but I'm trying to get away from this thing about preying on the weaknesses. Because A lot of us, a lot of you have, without this, you have no defense against sin. If you don't listen, you're gonna be stung and devoured. I came from a real bad generation. That's why I know a lot. This speaks, it's alive. I came from a generation of predators, so you can understand. You would never even know that you were a prey. And I understand that's how sin is. That's how Satan is. Satan strategically moves ahead. All you got to do is have the thirst and the desire, and he'll move on that and prime you and get you to not listen to the scriptures. When he got you not listening, Satan move another person in place to come after you. Make it enjoyable. A lot of you think everything, you think it cute. You at home getting cute. That's the whole plan of Satan. You getting cute to get hurt. Like the cologne and everything. You got the eyeliner, the makeup. The guys got the drip. They looking at the kicks. You know, they flossing. They got it all. They got the peel ready to come out. Yeah, the whole thing. Now watch out. I bought the car. Yeah. Back in the day, we bought cars that would appeal, that were appealing, and you rode them for that reason. I'm trying to get out of here. I talk too much. Maybe you guys don't understand it. I'm feeling more than I'm speaking. Sin it's like a setup. You ever watch TV and the people, they got the government, the police, they're gonna run a sting and they're gonna catch some guys maybe selling drugs or something. So they got the wire. They listening on the phone, and then they got the snitches, they got informants and stuff like that. But the whole time, these guys plotting on how much money they're gonna make and what they're gonna do. And the next thing you know, they're driving down the street and they get busted with drugs. They don't know who told on them. They don't really realize that their phone calls was being listened to. All kind of stuff. That's how Satan does. That's how sin is. Because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not happening. It doesn't mean that it's not happening. It is happening. So the best thing to do is listening to the voice of the Most High. You fight Satan with the scriptures, with obedience. But if you don't and you go astray, remember the scriptures say Satan is seeking whom he may devour. All right. So Deuteronomy chapter 30 and 13. Neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea and bring it unto us that we may hear it and do it? But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart. I got a question, that thou mayest do it. So if the word is very nigh, meaning near unto you, in your mouth, explain that. In thy mouth.
Something you already spoke.
Something you already spoke before. That's right. Something you already spoke before. You've read it before. You spoke it before. So why are you questioning it? Why are you inquiring about it? See how he got you? Sin got you questioning it, asking about it. Now you don't understand. You looking for confirmation. It's in your mouth. And the thing for 40 years. All right. Now, what else it says? It says, and in your heart, in the mind. The mind is already telling you that thou mayest do it. And yet people find it hard to do. See, I have set before thee this day life and good and death and evil. What is life and good?
The commandments and the prosperity, like the lifestyle, or like blessings that come behind doing what's right.
Okay, so just get a do-over. Let's say that's fine, but let's simplify. See, I have set before thee this day life. What is life? Well,
Life is the scriptures.
okay. Life, let's make that the path. Life, the path. I've set the path. All right. And the path, let's say, remember how we went to Psalms about teach me, show me the path, teach me, right? I've set life before you. The Most High has, and during this time, the life to Israel were the princes, were the Levitical priesthood. Aaron, Moses, Joshua, right? Abiram, Nadab, right? That was life. Because the life that they knew before was no good. It was the life of Egypt. So now the new life, they couldn't have life without the princes in their life, without those priests in their life. So the life was now seeing them as an example of what they were supposed to do. I've set life before you. All you got to do is follow them. Without them, they would not have no physical example. They would not have no life. They couldn't clean up what they were doing. This is how important you are as a man. This is how important you are as a woman. So we have to get out of our flesh, get out of our will, get out of our mind, get out of our emotions, get out of our feelings, get out of this world and get out of lust and thirst for this world. Either you are going to be, thus follow the life of the Lord, or you not. There's only one way to choose. It's life. And without it, you don't have life. You will revert back until the traditions of men, the customs of the world, the ways of the Gentiles, according to 1 Peter 4, the will of the Gentiles. You will revert back unto that. So that we all clear. We all understand that, right? Now it says, and good. That's where y'all came in at. The good is the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. The law is good, right? That's the good right there. So along that path, that lifestyle and those examples that you got to follow, now you got to follow that's good. Because that's good. What's that? Romans what? 7:14? Go to the book of Romans chapter 7:14. It's not 14. What is it?
12.
Romans 7:12. The book of Romans chapter 7 and verse 12. It says, wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just, and good. So he said that good before you, in front of you. I'll read it again, the book of Romans, chapter 7 and 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. So it's the commandment that's good. Now let's go back to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30. And verse 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, the example and the commandments. And now death and evil. Death is the things that while you live in that life, you make choices that'll get you killed. But what's evil? It's the opposite of the good. The breaking of the commandments. The breaking of the commandments is evil. It's the opposite of good. Just like death is the opposite of life. Life is the path that we are commanded to follow our leaders and our examples, because without that, what life you following? The traditions of the world. So death is that's following the traditions of the world, and evil is the breaking of the commandments. Now verse 16, and that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways and keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. Now, loving the Most High, to walk in his ways, follow the people that the Most High set up. Do what showed you to do. Keep his commandments. They are written in the scriptures. That's why we show you with the book, chapter, and the verse. Keep the things that are written. It says, and statutes, and what he said at the end, that's the judgment. That thou mayest live, that means you will survive long enough to create a family. Live and multiply. You will survive long enough, then you will have marriages, then you will have children, then you will be happy, then you will be a help and receive help. You will be a help and receive help. Many people get this wrong. You get this right. What did I just say on 3? 1, 2, and 3?
Many people get this wrong. You get this right.
Okay, now with the sisters, because all y'all just mute over there. On 3, 1, 2, and 3?
Many people get this wrong, but you get this right.
Okay, there you out of your own mouth. Right. Many people get it wrong, but you get this right. Get it right. Living and multiplying. Do this, and then the Most High will see that you are fit. And the Lord shall bless thee. Once you get it right. Verse 17. But if thy heart turn away, the first thing the mind will turn away from is what, Mr. G? Think. You got to think. Don't overthink it, though. It's not hard. The first thing the heart would turn away from is what? Okay. Sure. You're sure. What were people instructed to follow? Okay, stop. You finna say the law? That's what just got rejected. It just got rejected. The law was our schoolmaster to bring us to Christ. That's a hint right there. Many people decline or reject to follow what? If thy heart turn away, the example set in front of them. The Most High gave you the princes. He gave you the leaders to follow. He gave you the life to follow.
Right.
That's the answer.
Right.
That's the answer. While you growing, you got to follow. And you're going to learn to follow well. You can't understand and then follow. It don't work like that. A lot of people think that, oh, I'm going to read it, then I'm going to process it, I'm going to learn it, then I'm going to believe it, and then I'm going to play catch up, I'm going to follow. No. Nah. Come on, do what I'm doing. Say what I'm saying. Bro, apologize. See your fault. Let the rest happen. That's the example right there. Follow the example. But if thy heart refuse, if thy heart turn away so that thou will not hear. Now, hearing is what? Not only is you not following the example, but you're not dealing with the scriptures that is written. Because the voice of the Lord, according to the 10th verse, is in the commandments and the statutes written in the book. So that now you won't hear it. You won't read it and let it talk to you, or verbally listen to somebody, but shall be drawn away. Verse 18, I denounce you this day, that thou shalt surely perish. So what's the end result? Destruction, death, destruction. You're gonna, and before you get just eradicated, death, that's too quick. You're gonna make a bed in hell. You're gonna make a bed in all the bad issues that come in life. Yeah, that's the suffering part. You're gonna suffer, and none of us wants to suffer. We want to be able to be all right. Yeah, and we will not be all right. We'll be like, I'm not all right, and we'll be wondering like, why am I not all right? Since thou shalt surely perish, and that you shall not prolong your days. Verse 19, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you. It's not talking about the moon, the sky, the stars, the wind. No, it's talking about those that are in the spirit and those that are on this earth, to record this day against you. Because there are people that are going to witness your behavior and the behavior that those that tried to help you, that will testify on the behalf that you rejected it, that I have set before you life, a way that you should do things, and you rejected it, and death, and that you chose not to do it. Blessing, meaning according to the scriptures, was written that as a payment for doing the right thing, the Most High will make positive things come to pass. That's the blessing. And cursing as a result, because the rejection, that you will fall into the fate of unsavory situations that make you feel cursed, that are cursing. Therefore, choose life. What is the life? Choose the examples. Choose the life that the Most High gave to Moses, Aaron, who else? Joshua, who else? Caleb, Abiam, and Nadab. Before those guys went off, right? They were on the path. So choose the life that the Most High gave to those guys and follow them, so that you can learn the ways of God and please the Lord and do the right thing. Because our minds has been formulated around the world and the environment that we live in. So we have to get that up out of us. Now it says that both thou and thy seed may live. Because now you got to teach your seed to do the things that you're doing. Now, either you're going to teach them life or you're going to teach them death. So people running around the city thinking that I'm having a good time with my children, I'm having a grand time with my children, you teaching your children death. Even though you take them to the park, you take them to the movie, you take them to the store, you do this, you do that, death, cursing, because they're not learning the ways of the Lord. They self-destructing, and you teaching them to self-destruct them. They're going to promote those same habits that you taught them. You got to make a difference. You got to follow that life. And following that life ain't no leadership in you following. A follower is a follower and a leader is a leader. And you lead once your following is over. Once you go to 2 Corinthians chapter 10, in verse 5. Those of you that are online, thank you for listening throughout the scriptures. Please share the video and tag somebody in it. The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4 it says, verse 3 it says, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. So leaders are not to be warring after the flesh. No, we don't war after the flesh. What is the flesh? Sins. The works of the flesh are manifest. Go to what? Galatians. You're not, I don't want to go astray because we're trying to close it, right? Galatians 5:19, the works of the flesh. When you read those works of the flesh, you shouldn't be caught up in all of that. Everybody's got the things that they got to fight, but those things that, no. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. If something is inside of a person and it won't leave, there's nothing physical that you can do. There's nothing physical that you can do to make that go away. A lot of times people, they be at war with different sins and they think that, oh, I'm gonna make it go away by doing this, not really realizing that you fallen into that temptation and you giving place to that sin. You in sin. So it's nothing that's not how you resolve and get sin to go away. Oh, I'm just gonna give in because he keeps asking or she keeps asking or they keep coming around and puff pass or drink or they kept asking me to the party and I went, but yeah, I know I shouldn't have went, but see, if you want something that's holding up in your spirit, something your spirit is struggling with, you go into the Most High. You don't go into that sin. Casting down imaginations, reasonings, not give place to it. You got to cast it down. Use the Most High to cast it down. The first thing is the example that you have. Is your leaders doing that? Coupled with what's wrote in the scriptures. That's not wrote in the scriptures. Use that to cast down your reasonings that Satan is putting into your head. And every hard thing that exalted itself against what's wrote in the scriptures, the knowledge of God. And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. What's the obedience of Christ? Love life. Follow the life that's in front of you. And listen, brothers and sisters, that you are here, you are very blessed and fortunate to have the example of life and obedience. You got coupled with the scriptures. You're blessed to have that. There are a lot of people that's out there that say, well, I don't have that example. I have nobody. You got to do, if you out there, you got to do something about that. You don't have the example. You don't fit. I don't physically, but I'm online. Yeah. You online by yourself. Yeah. And some of you were online. How many of you, by a show of hands, were online before you physically showed up? It's quite a bit. Yeah. So now, to yourself be true. I ain't gonna even have you to answer this by a show of hands. But how many of you, when you physically showed up, you really got challenged? I'm saying without showing, you really got challenged. Okay, how about by a show of hands? You really got challenged. See, that's all. That's us all, right? And you got challenged to the point to where the things that you were, the life that you were living that was innocent, you were only at the ceiling. You was at capacity. You was at capacity. You was doing everything that you knew. But when you came, it was so much more required of you because you physically heard the scriptures opened up and you saw people doing things differently. Like, wait a second, are we supposed to do that? It's that you saw commitment, right? You saw dealing in the scriptures excessive. You know, you saw all the time, right? Like rise up, last down. You're like, wait a second, these people always in the scriptures. They telling me I'm wrong if I don't do it. Yeah. You saw. Let me see what else did you saw. Okay, you should have seen the discipline.